What up, yo? It's Marc Shannon with the Fantasy Knockout Fantasy Football Show. Today is Friday, October 7th. Follow the show on social media at Fantasy Knockout. Make sure to subscribe, whatever platform you're watching or listening on. Let's hit that goal. 100 subscribers for YouTube. I'm excited for today's show. It's the Week 5 must-start players. Who are we feeling confident about this week? Who are we worried about? Quick reminder, drop it like it's hot. Check those waivers. See who was dropped. A lot of times they are better than what was out there in the first place. Let's talk some news.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the news.
News with views. All right, to start off, wide receiver Keenan Allen of the Los Angeles Chargers. They continue to label Allen with his hamstring as day-to-day. I believe Allen suffered a setback last Thursday during practice, so they're just being extra precautious. Running back Gus Edwards out of Baltimore. He's been designated to return from reserve PUP list. He's got 3 weeks to show he is healthy enough before they activate him. And then wide receiver running back Justice Hill out of Baltimore. His coach Harbaugh said that Hill's hamstring might be out for a little bit, so it's the Dobbins show going forward. And then tight end Jonnu Smith out of New England. He's going to miss some time with the low ankle sprain, so we're going to have to kind of monitor Hunter Henry and see if he becomes a possible tight end streamer or start coming up in the future. Main event, my must-start players for Week 5. And if I don't talk about a specific player you're looking for, please check out the latest rankings at fantasyknockout.com. Speaking of rankings, currently 18th overall for the season. That's good. We were top 8 last week. We moved down just a little bit this week, but we're top 20. That's the goal. We're gonna finish top 20. So this show, I'm gonna change format a little bit. Previous, I would choose 10 players that I like and then a couple to fade. This one, I'm gonna hit a little bit more. We're gonna talk about my confidence level in starting players this week. So I have 3 different categories. The goal is to cover more players so everyone has a good idea of what players to start and sit. The categories are going to be start with confidence. That's like 100 to 75% in confidence level. Then the next one is consider if needed. That's going to be this confidence level of 75 to 50% or 40%, 75 to 40%. And then the bench, if possible, is the last group. That's like 40% and below, where don't have much confidence, but if you got nobody else ahead of them or on your bench, we can start them instead. Of course, we have our studs, our anchors, and the players that we're starting virtually no matter what. You don't need anyone to tell you who, we're going to start Jonathan Taylor and Josh Allen and stuff like that. But the further the list we go down, the more of those questions start to trickle in. Again, no player is a must-sit in every scenario. Perhaps the wide receiver 3 you're plugging in each week may have a better alternative. To answer that question, should I sit player X? It depends on the answer to the question. Who can you start instead? So the goal of this is to help you take the guesswork out of setting your lineups each week.
Quarterbacks.
All right, so my quarterbacks, my confidence level in becoming a top 12 quarterback this week. To start with confidence level, 100% to 75%. Josh Allen out of Buffalo, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore, Jalen Hurts, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. Those guys are the studs. They're auto locked in. Consider if needed, Joe Burrow out of Cincinnati. This is my 75 to 50%. Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr makes the list this week. Aaron Rodgers as well. Guys that are less high on, still in the consider if needed, is that 50 to 40% range. Trevor Lawrence, Teddy Bridgewater out of Miami, Matthew Stafford out of the Rams, Carson Wentz out of Washington. And then the bench, if possible, if you have no other options, I get it. You have to start your quarterback, but try not to get these guys in your lineups. 40 to 30%, Geno Smith, Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Zach Wilson, and Marcus Mariota. Don't be playing these guys. And then guys under 30%, I have no confidence in this week. Jacoby Brissett out of Cleveland, Justin Fields out of Chicago, Jimmy Garoppolo out of San Francisco, Cooper Rush, Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston, and Kenny Pickett.
Running backs.
Running backs, my confidence level in becoming the top 24 running back for the week. So our start with confidence category at 100% to 75%, right? That's going to be Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara this week, Joe Mixon. Start with confidence. Those guys are in your lineups, auto, locked, and loaded. Consider if needed. These guys are a little bit more this week, right? So my 75% to 50%, James Robinson out of Jacksonville, Jamal Williams out of Detroit, Miles Sanders out of Philly, Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of Kansas City, Josh Jacobs out of Las Vegas, Jeff Wilson out of San Francisco, Damian Pierce out of Houston, and Damian Harris out of New England. Guys that I'm a little bit less on that are still in the consider if needed category is the 50 to 40% range, right? Khalil Herbert out of Chicago, J.K. Dobbins out of Baltimore, Najee Harris, Breece Hall out of the Jets, James Conner, A.J. Dillon, Devin Singletary, Ramondre Stevens, Rashad Penny, and Kareem Hunt. That wraps up the consider if needed. The bench, if possible, guys. If you got no one else, I get it. But bench, if possible, Raheem Mostert, Travis Etienne, Ezekiel Elliott, Antonio Gibson, Tyler Algier, Cam Akers, Tony Pollard, Darrell Henderson, and Chase Edmonds. That's my 40 to 30% range. Under 30%, no confidence at all. Rashad White out of Tampa Bay, Michael Carter, J.D. McKissick out of Washington, Alexander Madison out of Minnesota, Isaiah Pacheco out of Kansas City, Mark Ingram, Kenneth Gainwell out of Philly, and Rex Burkhead out of Houston.
Wide receivers.
Wide receivers, so my confidence level for the top 24 wide receivers of this week. Start with confidence. Those smash guys we got in there, the 100 to 85%. Stephon Diggs out of Buffalo, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, T. Higgins, and CeeDee Lamb wrap up that group. Still in the start with confidence, but a little bit smaller percentage in confidence level. This is the 85 to 75%. Jalen Waddle, Christian Kirk out of Jacksonville, Mike Williams from the Chargers, and Chris Godwin out of Tampa Bay. All right, my consider if needed. This is the 75 to 50% range. Marquise Hollywood Brown, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, and Amari Cooper. Then the 50 to 40% in the confidence level for the consider if needed. Terry McLaurin out of Washington, Devontae Smith out of Philly, Curtis Samuel out of Washington as well, Alan Lazard, Drake London, Gabe Davis, and Romeo Doubs out of Green Bay. The bench, if possible, this is the 40 to 30%, not as confident. Adam Thielen out of Minnesota, Juju Smith-Schuster out of Kansas City, Garrett Wilson from the Jets, Deontay Johnson from Pittsburgh, Brandon Ayuk out of San Francisco, DJ Moore out of Carolina. Ugh, DJ Moore frustrating me this year. Guys under 30%, no confidence level in starting. Please try to get them out of your lineups if at all possible. Elijah Moore out of New York, Robert Woods out of Tennessee, Darnell Mooney out of Chicago, Josh Reynolds out of Detroit, Michael Gallup out of Dallas, Tyler Boyd from Cincinnati, Marquez Valdez-Scantling out of Kansas City, Corey Davis from the Jets, George Pickens, the rookie, out of Pittsburgh, Mac Hollins from the Raiders, Rashad Bateman out of Baltimore, Allen Robinson from the Rams, Josh Palmer from the Chargers, Devin Duvernay from the Ravens, and Devontae Parker from the Patriots.
Tight ends.
All right, so my tight ends, confidence level in becoming a top 12 tight end for this week. Start with confidence, the 100 to 75%. Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, Darren Waller, Zach Ertz. Lock them in. They are all good to go. Consider if needed, this 70 to 30% range. Tyler Higbee from the Rams. Yeah, he's got Dallas. Tough matchup, but you got to fire him up. TJ Hawkinson out of Detroit, George Kittle out of San Francisco, Gerald Everett out of the Chargers, and David Njoku out of Cleveland. The bench, if possible, these guys are going to be more of the streamers. My confidence level is 30% and below in these guys. Tyler Conklin out of the Jets, Pat Freiermuth from the Steelers, Robert Tonyan out of Green Bay, Dalton Schultz out of Dallas, Logan Thomas from Washington, Irv Smith out of Minnesota, Hayden Hurst from Chicago, Juan Johnson out of New Orleans, and Evan Ingram from the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let me know what you think of this new format. Leave a comment for me. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. I'm here to help you each week. We want to get you that championship. # dominate that league. Got another segment right now. Players to sell high on. I got two guys I want to move, try to trade if you have them. Take advantage of their blow-up weeks from last week and see if you can get equal to or better value out of these guys, because I have a feeling that they're not going to continue to produce at this high level. First one is Austin Eckler from the Chargers. We got to sell high. He finished week 4 with 13 carries for just 60 yards against the league's worst run defense, but scored 3 touchdowns. He combined for just 3 more carries than Sony Michel and Joshua Kelly combined 10. So sell high. Keenan Allen's going to be coming back, and it's not going to increase Eckler's target share. Then also sell high on Rashad Penny from Seattle. The dudes shredded the league's worst run defense. Next up are the New Orleans Saints. Perfect time to sell high on an injury-prone Penny, with Ken Walker vying to eat into Penny's workload as the season progresses. All right, some players I'm looking to target or buy. So if you had a Austin Eckler, try to flip him for one of these guys, possibly instead. First one's going to be Dalvin Cook out of Minnesota. Cook didn't seem limited by his shoulder injury. He had 22 touches for 86 yards in London, but Madison did get the touchdown and on just 4 touches. Still, his 85% opportunity share is a top 8 mark for running backs. So I'd be looking to buy low after he missed out on a touchdown score. The Bears' run defense, the last in yards allowed per game, provides the perfect bounce back spot this week. Jamar Chase from Cincinnati. So last season, Higgins earned the higher target rate per route run than Chase did. It's the same story this season, where Higgins is at 22.4% target rate per route run. It's nearly identical to Chase this season at 22.2%. So over the last 3 weeks, both guys are healthy, and Higgins has a higher target share of 25 to 24%. The air yards is 38 to 35%, and a higher points per game average with 19.6 versus 11.9. So both guys should be viewed as fantasy wide receiver ones, and Chase should be bought on the cheap if managers are concerned. He's firmly the wide receiver 2 on that team. Another guy to look at, Drake London out of Atlanta. So London ranked number 1 in NFL target share with 35%. As a 21-year-old rookie, fantasy football does not have to be hard. Go buy Drake London. And then Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders. So week 4 was a monster for Jacobs, who rushed for 144 yards on 28 carries. But the best part about his day was that he rolled over his receiving usage from week 3. He caught 5 balls on 6 targets while running a route on 64% of the dropbacks. With receiving usage and back-to-back weeks with a top 3 elite opportunity share of 92% in week 4, Jacobs has the chance to finish the season as a fantasy running back 1. And then my other guy to go target right now is going to be Pat Freiermuth. Yes, the Muth from Pittsburgh. The Muth is going to get loose with Kenny Pickett presumably taking over as the Steelers starting quarterback. He saw 36% target share in week 4, and after a down week 3, half of his targets, with 8 in total, came in the second half from the rookie quarterback. He tied George Pickens for the most targets in Pickett's debut. Well, that's going to wrap it up today. The next show is the Week 5 injury report. Thank you for listening to this show. Make sure to subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Please leave that rating and review. Really helps me out. All right. Till next time. See ya.